This month we celebrate 6 wild years of Pokemon GO. And I think it's important on days like these to remember our roots. So today we'll be going over the full history of Pokemon GO, exploring what events were like before Shinies, seeing the release of major features like raids, and so much more. So buckle up and get ready because our adventure begins back in 2016. Back in June of 2016, Pokemon GO was released and it absolutely changed the world. I'm not just saying that because I like the game. I'm serious. No game had done what Pokemon GO did. No game got the entire world out together playing as one. It was madness back in June, but it was a really iconic time for really gaming in general. Also back in June of 2016, I'm pretty sure that's when they disabled tracking. The ability to track Pokemon on your nearby went away. Originally, it was the 3-step tracking system where the closer you got to the Pokemon, the more steps there were, less steps there were. Well, that went away, and we didn't have a tracking system implemented for months. July, August, and September of 2016 were kind of quiet months for Pokemon GO just because the game was so new. But in October, Pokemon GO had its first event. The OG Halloween event featuring 2x Catch Candy and 2x XP, along with the iconic Wild Hypno and Gengar spawns back in October when bonuses like 2x Catch Candy was unheard of, and finding a wild Gengar was like winning the lottery. November tracking was fixed, finally! You could now track a Pokemon if it was close to a certain Pokestop, which was literally revolutionary at its time. And the world's first in-person Pokemon GO event, the Lapras Outbreak event in Japan, where basically Lapras were spawning everywhere in a specific region of Japan. And again, this was back when Lapras was extremely rare, so finding one in the wild was nuts, which made this event nuts. My little brother actually spoofed to this event, caught a bunch of Lapras, then got banned. December of 2016 was an exciting one with the holiday event Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 bringing a free incubator every single day by spinning a Pokestop, and the original Santa hat Pikachu. Part 2 brought 1-hour incense, increased Kanto starter spawns, and baby Pokemon released in eggs for the first time in Pokemon GO history. 2017 had a quiet start with January being pretty much dead. And funny enough, January of 2017 is the most dead Pokemon GO has ever been in its history. February though was a different story with the release of Generation 2 into Pokemon GO. Over 80 Pokemon were dropped in one day from Generation 2. This is back before they released generations in waves, and when it was time for new Pokemon, they all came. It was madness. I literally caught a wild Typhlosion on day 1 of the Generation 2 release. It was awesome. We then got the Valentine's Day event, which brought 2x Catch Candy, which was a big deal back then, and cool rare pink Pokemon spawns like Porygon, Chansey, Wigglytuff, and Slowbro. March brought one of Pokemon GO's most iconic events for the first time, the Water Festival event, which had increased Water-type Pokemon spawns, the release of Pokemon GO's first ever shiny Magikarp and Gyarados in the wild. April brought the Egg Extravaganza event for the first time, which brought tons of more Pokemon into the 2-kilometer egg pool, increased candy for hatches. May we had the Grass Weekend event, which had boosted Grass-type spawns and 6-hour incense, along with the first ever Adventure Week event, which increased the Rock-type Pokemon spawning, like Aerodactyl, Kabutops, and Amistar back when they were very rare. June had the first Solstice event, and at the time, it was a crazy event. 3x Catch XP, 3x Hatch XP, insane spawns. And remember, this was technically before shiny Pokemon were kind of fully released, so rare spawns were the crazy things in the game. July was one of the biggest months ever because raids were released for the first time ever in July of 2017, along with the first ever first anniversary event, which brought Ash Hat, Pikachu, and Pichu for the first time ever. And also in July, the first ever Pokemon GO Fest event, which went not great. There were some serious problems with players not being able to log in during the event, but what we did get from this event was the world's first legendary Pokemon, Lugia and Articuno, spawning throughout the city in Chicago. I think this is one of the most iconic moments in Pokemon GO history because you had the entire city of Chicago swarmed with Pokemon GO players running around, taking over entire streets just to raid these brand new legendaries. Being there in person was electric. August of 2017 was extremely iconic for one reason and one reason only. Mewtwo. Mewtwo was released back in Yokohama, Japan, and it was one of the best memories I have of Pokemon GO. It was in a stadium, there was tons of people there, it was a really, really cool thing. Then we didn't have another event until September, where we got the first Equinox event. And in this event, the Super Incubator was officially released. September also brought the world's first Safari Zone event. It was actually held not in one location, but in multiple locations across Europe. And if you were in those spots, you could get the unknown SAFRNI along with Kangaskhan spawns. October of 2017 brought one of my favorite events that have ever happened in Pokemon GO, the 2017 Halloween event. The reason why it's one of my favorites is because, well, for one, there was just a ton of amazing Dark-type and Ghost-type spawns. The Mimikyu avatar item dropped, the OG Witch Hat Pikachu and Pichu came out, and the coolest part of the event, Sableye, Shuppet, Bayonet, Duskull, and Dusclops were released in Pokemon GO for the first time ever, and actually, I think they were the first ever Generation 3 Pokemon released in the game, I think, and they could be shiny. I forget if I ever even got the shinies from this event, but I just remember them being a thing, made it so sick. Following that amazing event was the next event in December, which was the holiday Christmas season event. And this one was a banger. 6-hour lure modules, 1 free incubator per day, 20 new Pokemon released into Pokemon GO, including Delibird. January of 2018 was a big month. Why? Because it featured the world's first Community Day event. Yes, a brand new event bringing a brand new style of gameplay. Community Day came to Pokemon GO featuring Shiny Pikachu to start. This monthly event would bring a brand new shiny Pokemon along with a new move for that specific Pokemon. Back in January, Pikachu received the move Surf, which to this day is still a very rare thing to have. February, we saw the Valentine's Day event. Chansey spawns, which back in the day was very rare, and the release of Shiny Luvdisc, which to this day is one of my favorite shinies. Followed by the Year of the Dog event, Shiny Poochyena and Mightyena were released, which I didn't get, and I think I still don't have. Somehow. We also got Dratini Community Day in February, and this is back before you could get like a lot of shinies during Com Day. I think I got 2. Also in February featured the Legendary Week, which had Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza back up in the raids. Wind-themed Pokemon in the eggs, including Shiny Dratini in the 10 kilometers. And there was kind of a cool feature, if Rayquaza was defeated more than Kyogre and Groudon combined, windy weather Pokemon like Bagon would hatch from eggs, and if not, rainy weather Pokemon would hatch. March brought back the Egg Extravaganza event. All of the eggs were 2-kilometer eggs, and there were a lot of new shiny Pokemon, including Magmar, Togepi, Togetic, Wobbuffet, Magby, and Wynot. March also brought the Taiwan Safari Zone event, which was one of my favorite trips ever. There was basically a festival happening in Taiwan that was complemented by a Safari Zone event, so we got to experience like both events at the same weekend, along with some very cool Pokemon spawning like Mr. Mime, Unknown, and some shinies. April Fools. This April Fools event back in 2018 was probably the coolest one they've ever done. All the Pokemon models were changed back to their 8-bit versions. This was such a random feature and like a random thing, but I thought it was super cool, and it made Pokemon GO just feel different. It was very fun. Also, Shiny Murkrow was released, which was cool. Then we saw the Kanto Celebration event, where Kanto Pokemon exclusively were spawning in the wild. Tons of Pokemon in raids, including Shiny Bulbasaur and Magikarp. May brought the Battle Showdown event, which increased fighting-type Pokemon spawns and raids, 3k dust and 1 rare candy from raids, and 4 new shiny Pokemon, Makuhita, Hariyama, Meditite, and Medicham. We also saw the return of Adventure Week, which had boosted rock-type Pokemon in the raids, in the wild, and in a brand new feature, Field Research. Yes, Field Research was released for the first time ever in this event. And the new shinies included Omanyte, Omastar, Kabuto, Kabutops, and Aerodactyl. Later that month, we experienced the Alolan Executor release, which was one of the most memey things that happened in the game. This event was basically to help promote Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and Alolan was just spawning everywhere with boosted odds. I remember I was in Italy, I think Rome, during this event, and it was just a really weird it was a fun trip, but it was a weird event. Just imagine seeing just massive trees everywhere in the map. Weird. June, the Water Festival event returned, the release of Shiny Kyogre, and Shiny Shelder being released. In July, a very cool event, the Dortmund Safari Zone event happened, which brought new Shiny Roselia to the game, and had tons of great spawns, including Corsola, Larvitar, and more. And then almost immediately after that, Shiny Roselia was then released for the world, and the iconic Go Fest 2018 went down in July, which was one of Pokemon GO's best events. Unknown were spawning, rare shiny Pokemon were everywhere, and the game actually worked. August was an exciting month with the Yokosuka Safari Zone event. This was an awesome event in Japan. It had amazing Unknown spawns, Tropius, and a new shiny Wingull. And then the Johto Festival happened. With this, we saw the global release of Celebi. September held the global release of shiny Wingull and shiny Moltres in raids, and an Ultra Bonus event unlocked from Pokemon Go Fest, which featured regional Pokemon in the eggs. Also in September, Meltan was released into Pokemon Go, but not in a way that you could catch it. It was released during Chikorita Calm Day. You could encounter it, but you couldn't keep it. October had a very iconic, fateful event that brought one of the rarest, if not the rarest, shiny Pokemon to Pokemon Go, the Fragment Hat Pikachu. That event was followed by the Psychic Spectacular event, where Psychic-type Pokemon spawned everywhere and Shiny Drowsy was released. Then we had the Halloween event, with boosted Ghost and Dark-type spawns, Witch Hat Pichu in eggs, Altered Form Giratina in raids, and brand new Shiny Drifloon. November was a busy month. We had the Taiwan Safari Zone, the Ingress Prime event, which basically promoted Niantic's first game Ingress with the new shinies Ponyta, Rapidash, Cubone, Marowak, and Alolan Marowak, which is pretty good. The Hatchathon, introducing new Generation 4 Pokemon into the game, and a ton of great new shinies, including Elekid, Electabuzz, Electivire, Roserade, Honchkrow, Magmortar, Togekiss, and Dusknoir. And the Let's Go Celebration event to help promote the release of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. This was also the first ever release of Meltan in Pokemon Go, but not in the box we know today, through special research and special research only. December of 2018, we obviously had the holiday event, which had some amazing spawns, a lot of Ice-type Pokemon, and some new Hoenn Pokemon, and some great new shinies, including Santa Hat Pikachu and Raichu, Marill, and Delibird. 2019. A busy year for Pokemon Go to say the least. January ringed in the new year with the Hatchathon event, followed by the Hoenn Celebration event, where Hoenn Pokemon spawned basically everywhere. Shiny Groudon was released for the first time, and also the Porto Alegre Safari Zone happened with the release of Shiny Psyduck. February, we had the Lunar New Year event celebrating the Year of the Boar. We all had increased chances of lucky Pokemon when trading, and Shiny Spoink and Grumpig were released. That was followed up by the Friendship Weekend event, and then the Valentine's Day event, which, as always, pink Pokemon spawning everywhere. Then to finish out the month, the Pokemon Day event. This is also the first event where Flower Crown, Eevee, and Pikachu were released. March featured the Battle Showdown event. Tons of fighting-type Pokemon spawning, with new shinies Mankey and Machop. April Fools, as always. This one was kind of weak. Basically just Ash photobombed your photo shots, and shiny Ash Hat Pikachu was released. Then we had the Bug Out event, where bug Pokemon spawned everywhere. A literal swarm. We had 1 Hour Incense, and shiny Scyther was released. Then Sentosa Safari Zone went down, and this was one of my favorite events ever. Really great spawns, really good people, very fun time, and the iconic release of Shiny Shuckle and Lapras. Then the month ended with the Earth Day event to help promote Earth Day cleanups. Groudon came back to raids, and we all got Shiny Diglett. May started off with the Pokemon Detective Pikachu event to basically help promote the new movie with Ryan Reynolds. We then had the Extraordinary Raid Weekend event, then one of the weirdest events, the Summer Snooze event, where sleeping Snorlax was spawning. Unfortunately, when you caught Snorlax, it woke up, so you couldn't have a Snorlax like sleeping in your inventory, but that would have been cool. June, we had the Adventure Week event again, and the new shinies Onix, Steelix, Laleep, Cradilly, Anorith, and Armaldo. June also had Pokemon Go's probably best Go Fest event, which was Go Fest 2019. It was a banger event with a ton of new shinies, incredible spawns. Abra shiny was accidentally released, and it was just a really great time with a bunch of friends and community members. And I think this is when Nick went as Rick. Then the Shiny Horsey family was released globally. July brought Go Fest Dortmund. It was another amazing event that saw pretty much similar spawn pools to Go Fest Chicago, but it was still an incredible one to play and one of my favorites. And after Go Fest was over, the shiny Male Nidoran was released worldwide, along with a global Entei Raid Day. The One Piece event happened afterwards to help promote the Kumamoto City of Japan, releasing the shiny Straw Hat Pikachu. And then we prepared for trouble, because the global release of Team Rocket happened this month, along with Shadow Pokemon coming to the game for the first time ever. Plus we got a ton of new shinies, including Ekans, Arbok, Zubat, Golbat, Crobat, Coughing, Wheezing, Sneasel, and Weavile. August, the greatest event to ever exist, happened. There was a gift event to promote sending and opening gifts. And what was released? Shiny Bonsly and Sudowoodo, which I didn't get. We also had Go Fest Yokohama, which was one of the most iconic Go Fest events for a couple of reasons. 1, this was my last time in Japan. 2, Shiny Poliwag family was released. And 3, it was the last ever in-person Go Fest to happen for another 3 years because of the pandemic. September 2019 was probably one of my favorite months ever for Pokemon Go, mainly because of the Ultra Unlock events. Week 1 had tons of great spawns, Unknowns UL, TR, and A in the 10km eggs, Shiny Raikou, Entei, and Suicune in raids, along with the new shiny releases of Sentret, Furret, Gligar, and Gliscor. Week 2 had a bunch of fun spawns, regional Pokemon in the 7km eggs, and the new shinies Farfetch'd, Kangaskhan, Mr. Mime, and Tauros, and all Deoxys form in raids. We also had Montreal Safari Zone that month as well, which was a crazy event, plus with Mewtwo raids happening, it was a really, really fun event. And Shiny Yanmo was released. The World Tourism event brought Zangoose and Seviper in Pokemon Go. Mime Jr. was released in European 5km eggs. October, we started with like a little Stardust Blast event, then the Taipei Safari Zone, and the Halloween event. Spooky spawns, really cool costume starter Pokemon that could all be shiny, Darkrai released for the first time, and Yamask released for the first time with their shinies. November was for the Reggies. We had like a Reggie weekend event where Shiny Skarmory was released and the Shiny Reggie Trio was released. Then the 2019 holiday event. Tons of epic ice type spawns, Santa Beanie Pikachu and Pichu, lots of great new shinies including Santa Beanie Pikachu family, Holiday Stantler, and Snover, plus some new holiday Shadow Pokemon including Shadow Shiny Stantler, which I got. 2020 was a very sink or swim year for Pokemon Go because of the pandemic and because of the fact that Pokemon Go was a go outside and explore game, which people couldn't do. Obviously, at the beginning of 2020, we saw the introduction of the pandemic bonuses that were then taken away sort of recently in 2021 and 2022. But we're not going to cover that in today's video. If you want to learn more about it, you can check out the 5 mistakes video that I made. January of 2020, we had the Adventure Sync Hatchathon event, cheeky little egg event. The Lunar New Year event was back, but with one important caveat: wild, shiny Gyarados, which I had never caught, but it was a really cool feature. February, we had the Minccino Research Day, which was kind of a fun event, where Minccino and Cinccino were released in research with their shinies. Then we had the Sinnoh Celebration event, where Sinnoh Pokemon were in raids, eggs, and wild. Love was in the air that month with the Valentine's Day event with really good 7km eggs, new Pokemon Audino and Alamamala, and new shinies Happiny, Chansey, and Blissey. And the last event of the month, the Pokemon Day event. And Armored Mewtwo back in Pokemon Go for the last time. Oh, and also Clone Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise did come back to raids, also for the last time. March, we saw the Team Go Rocket Global Takeover event, which I think was the first ever event where you could TM frustration off your Pokemon. The Go Battle League Celebration event, which had the release of Shiny Timber and family. The Genesect Weekend event, where we got Genesect released in special research only before it came to raids. And the Psychic Spectacular event, which brought new Pokemon Solosis and Gothita. April Fools once again. April Fool's event had 5km eggs with Bonsly in it. Stunfisk released for the first time. Shiny Krogunk was released. Sudowoodo was in raids, and this was the fateful event where I got my first ever shiny Sudowoodo. The spring event brought a bunch of new Flower Crown Pokemon and new shinies Execute, Flower Crown Pichu, Togepi, and Baniri. Then shiny Volbeat and Illumise were released during the Buddy Up event to celebrate the Pokehomies. May 2022 brought the Throwback Challenge Kanto event, one for each region. Then we had the Snubble Research event, and then June was here. Started off with the Throwback Challenge Champion event, which brought some new amazing Galarian Pokemon, including Meowth, Zigzagoon, Darmok, and Stunfisk. The Solstice event made a return, where Solrock and Lunatone predictably swapped. The Bug Out event brought them Bug Spawns and the Shiny Dwebble. And then we had like this weird Galarian Farfetch'd Outbreak event, where for 24 hours, it was just Galarian Farfetch'd everywhere. July, Go Fest 2020. An honestly incredible event considering the global circumstances, with rotating habitats where your spawns around you changed every hour. We had great new shinies like Tangela, Unknown GNO, Quillfish, Woobat, Heatmore, Kyogre, and Groudon came back to raids. And you could get, through special research, the Shadow Legendary Birds and a boosted IV Shadow Mewtwo. Jesse and James had their own fun event with a ton of battling, and then some follow-up Go Fest events that were pretty cool, with like Shiny Bellsprout, Petalil was released. And August of 2020, in my opinion, was probably maybe Pokemon Go's best week for in-game events. Again, like in 2019, because of the Ultra Unlocks from Pokemon Go Fest. But the Ultra Unlock events, we started off with Dragon Week, with amazing Dragon-type spawns, Shiny Dino released in raids, and crazy Shiny Rayquaza grinding. Followed by Enigma Week, which had really good Psychic-type spawns, special and Shiny 7km egg hatches, LGM and Beheeyem released, When's the last time you saw those? And new shinies Staryu, Unknown, ULTR, and A, and Deoxys. Then the Unova event, which brought some new Unova Pokemon like Seawaddle and Cottony, new shinies like Genesect and the Roggenrola family, and the month was over. But it was a good one. September was iconic because it was the month that Mega Pokemon were officially released. We had a bunch of events revolving around Mega Pokemon, like the Mega Raid Challenge event, where we unlocked Mega Pidgeot, the Mega Battle Challenge event, where we unlocked Mega Houndoom, and the Mega Buddy Challenge event, where there was a timed research, and if you finished it, you then unlocked, in the next month, a special research that gave you Mega Gengar. And the next month being October of 2020. With the Longchamp collaboration event to start, which actually brought the Shiny Kricketot family and some new costume Pokemon, including Top Hat Shinx. The Seasons Change Part 1 and Part 2 events brought very fun autumn-themed Pokemon, and the release of 12-kilometer eggs in Pokemon GO for the first time ever, which featured brand new Pokemon like Sandile, Pawniard, and Volibee. And the month ended, as always, with the Halloween event, which was a banger with the release of Shiny Spiritomb, Mega Gengar, and Galarian Yamask. L for me for that one. November, we had the Day of the Dead event with some spooky spawns and Duskull and Snapshot encounters, the Animation Week event, which kind of tied in with the Pokemon Journeys anime. The Pokemon Home Celebration event kicked off, celebrating the release of the feature that allowed players to transfer Pokemon from Pokemon GO over to Pokemon Home. For this event, Shiny Meltan returned because nowadays you can get your Meltan box by trading a Pokemon to Pokemon Home. And after that, we had the 12 Days of Friendship event, which was just to help people get to level 50 because level 50 was just announced. And then the Lake Legends event, which just had something to do with the Lake Legends. And also in November, level 50 was officially released. December was a really big month. We had the Kanto Celebration event, where a massive batch of Generation 6 Pokemon, including Noibat and Klefki and the starters, were released. The Pokemon the Movie Secrets of the Jungle event happened, which basically was a promotional event to promote the new movie coming out on Netflix. And Shiny Celebi was released in special research, which was a big deal. Then the Galarian Mr. Crime event. One of the most controversial events ever. It was an $8 paid research event to get your Galarian Mr. Crime. Wasn't worth it. Followed by a much better event, the holiday event, which was just the same fun Christmas spawns. And then the New Year's event, which had Slowpoke with 2020 glasses vibes. 2021. We had the Unova Celebration event with the release of Shiny Snivy, the Sinnoh Celebration event with the release of Shiny Weasel, the Hoenn Celebration event with Kyogre and Groudon in raids, and the Johto Celebration event with Shiny Miltank in the wild. February, we started by celebrating Team Go Rocket. As always, the Lunar New Year event happened with that wild Shiny Gyarados, which I never got. Oh, and Mega Gyarados was released during this event. Valentine's Day had the same pink fun spawns. The terrifying Munna and Musharna were released. Then the Kanto Celebration event happened with all OG 151 spawns. And the raids were stacked, including the Legendary Birds and Mewtwo. March, the Searching for Legends event began. Pokemon GO events then started to shift towards being focused on the seasons that were happening in Pokemon GO rather than just random kind of events. And Shiny Nosepass, because that was released. The Charge Up event then happened, focused on Electric-type Pokemon and brought some new ones into the game, like Mega Manectric and Therian Form Thundurus, Dynamo Electric, and Electros. Weather Week followed that with Pokemon featuring weather spawning, like the Castforms. And the new Shiny Rainy Castform was released, which to this day is like one of the most rare shinies ever. Finally, we had the Festival of Colors event, which ended off the month in a nice, colorful way. April Fools again, with a whole lot of Team Rocket, followed by the Spring into Spring event, which brought Megalopunny and new shinies Bunnelby and Flower Crown Chansey family. Then the Rivals Weekend event, which was kind of a fun event. Basically, Pokemon that were rivals of each other were spawning, kind of like Zangoose and Seviper. And we had a couple new Pokemon here, the Therian Landorus, Squirrel, and Clauncher. Sustainability Week followed with Binacle and Barbicle introduced into Pokemon GO, and the fateful release of the one and only Shiny Trubbish. May, we saw the Luminous Legends X and Y events, which were really, really good. Xerneas was released and increased the Dragon and Fairy-type Pokemon spawning, and then Yveltal was released and increased the Dark-type Pokemon spawning. And Shiny Galarian Ponyta was released during this event. And Sylveon was released, and Shiny Galarian Zigzagoon, one of the best shinies ever in the Pokemon franchise, during this event. June had a very slow discovery event to begin, which basically Slowpoke's Galarian form was released into the game alongside Mega Slowbro. The Solstice event was back, except with one major thing, the Shiny Regigigas release. Then Bidoof, our Lord and Savior, finally got the recognition he deserved. Shiny Bidoofers released and they were spawning everywhere. And then the Bidoof Day event happened, a brand new holiday dubbed Bidoof Day. We then had the 5th anniversary event, which was a big deal because it's the 5th anniversary. But the event was alright. Go Fest 2021 was an okay Go Fest. Personally, I thought it was great. It was a 2-day event. Day 1 was focused on the spawns, and the spawns were pretty good. The shinies were okay. We did have a ton of new shiny Pokemon, including Unknown F, Whismur, Tympole, and more. And Day 2 featured every single legendary Pokemon ever released back in raids. Then we got the Ultra Unlocks. Part 1 had Rock-type spawns with new shinies Cranidos, Shieldon, and Dialga, and shiny Unknown U in raids. August had Part 2, which was focused more on space, and we had shiny Heracross released in a very sus way, and shiny Palkia released. And then Part 3, Zacian and Zamazenta were released into legendary raids, alongside several new Pokemon like Swirlbit, Wooloo, and Phalanx. September, we saw Hoopa's arrival into Pokemon GO. It was like a 1-day event with rotating spawns, and then Hoopa was released in the special research. We then had the Psychic Spectacular event, a whole lot of psychic energy in the wild. Inkay and Malamar released. The Fashion Week event, bringing a bunch of fashionable costume Pokemon, and shiny Blitzel. October saw a very iconic event, the Secrets of the Jungle event, made to promote the Pokemon movie Secrets of the Jungle on Netflix. Pokemon from the movie were spawning in the wild, and Zarude was released for the first and only time in Pokemon GO through special research. The month closed out with the Halloween Part 1 and Part 2 event, which was a really big Halloween event. Part 1 was focused on poison types with new Galarian Slowking coming to the game, and Part 2 is focused way more on ghost types with the release of the Phantom family and all the different sized Pumpkaboo. The With Light Comes Shadow event, where Shadow Lugia was released for the first time, and the shiny Volibee family came out, which made hatching 12-kilometer eggs only a little less painful. The Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl Celebration event to help promote the brand new game. Tons of Sinnoh Pokemon were spawning, and 7-kilometer eggs were on fire, including Shiny Mime Jr. released worldwide in 7-kilometer eggs, which I got. Then probably like the weirdest event ever, the Ed Sheeran Collab event. Basically, Ed Sheeran just like dropped a new album, and Pokemon GO like promoted it with like an event featuring his favorite water-type starter Pokemon spawning. It was weird, but one good thing came out of it was the fact that Squirtle Squad Squirtle came back to Pokemon GO for the first time since like its community day back in I think 2018. Then the month closed out with the Mischief Unbound event, where we got Hoopa Unbound into Pokemon GO through special research. And the final month of 2021, December, began with the Dragon Spiral Descent event, which was honestly a great event. It had a lot of Dragon-type Pokemon spawning, and Druddigon was released with its shiny variant. That was followed up by the Holiday event, Part 1 and Part 2, as always. We had the same lovely winter spawns. Holiday Spheal and Glaceon released, both were great. Shiny Kyurem and Bergmite and Avalugg released for the first time. Then the year closed out with the New Year's event, which was honestly sorta underwhelming. 2022. Welcome to modern day. Do you remember January? Because it started off with the Mountains of Power event, which saw the release of Mega Aerodactyl and Shiny Slugma, followed by the Power Plant event, which had a lot of electric-type Pokemon spawning, including Helioptile for the first time. Then the month closed out with a random Hisuian Voltorb event, where basically Voltorb and the brand new Hisuian Voltorb were spawning everywhere. February had the Lunar New Year event, back again, always great. Same old shiny Gyarados spawns, which I could never get. Then, as you can imagine, the Valentine's Day with the same fun pink spawns, except this time you could get Heart Trim Furfrou, and all of Flabebe's forms were released. There's like 1,000. March had the Welcome to Alola event, releasing the first huge wave of Generation 7, including the starters Rockruff and the elusive Jangmo-O. We also had the Festival of Colors event, which brought Oricorio into the game, and the Lush Jungle event, which brought the Fomantis family, Tapu Lele, and new shiny Cottonee to Pokemon GO. April Fools as always. This was literally a Ditto event. It was just Ditto everywhere. Also had the All Hands Rocket Retreat event following that, with Salandit released in a 12-kilometer eggs, and Shadow Latias. The Spring into Spring event followed, with Flower Crown Pokemon returning. Then the Mega Evolution system was actually fixed in Pokemon GO, which was super duper needed, and that was celebrated by the Mega Moment event, and off to May we went. Starting off with the Pokemon Air Adventures event, which had the first ever, world's first, Mega Legendary Pokemon, Mega Latios and Latios. And that was followed by one of the best events this year, the Water Festival event, which was just super fun because the spawns were amazing. Then the last event of the season of Alola happened, the Alola to Alola event, which was just really underwhelming. The month of June began with the Adventure Week, which was probably the best event this year. Incredible Rock-type Pokemon spawning, Tyrant and Amora released in Pokemon GO, new shinies Tortuga and Archon in the 7-kilometer eggs, and a great Ultra Unlock event with insane shiny rates for Granados and Shieldon. We also had the Pokemon TCG crossover event, and obviously, Go Fest 2022. This event was good. Not as good as previous Go Fest events, but like, still a good time. We had the Ultra Recon Squad introduced, we got our first ever Ultra Beast, and had some cool new shiny Pokemon to hunt like Unknown Bee, Shroomish, and Axew. And here we are, current date, July 2022, where we just finished up Go Fest Berlin, where I myself got over 50 shiny Pokemon, which was crazy. That was the first in-person Go Fest event in 3 years, and it did not disappoint. And that is the full history of Pokemon Go to date. I know I missed a lot of things. Don't worry, we'll make this video again next year, and it will be better. But for now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out the other videos live on screen. And again, congratulations to all of us on 6 years of Pokemon Go.